Greetings everyone. Welcome to the first episode of second season of Inspired Conversations on Global Conference TV. Everyone wants to leave a mark in this world. However, it takes the brave, the strong, and the smart to do just that. A 20-year-old lady is leaving a legacy for the next generation, and she's here with me today to share more about her story. She's Noluthando Dlamini. Welcome to Inspired Conversations, and you are very welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Let's just start knowing who is a 21-year-old lady who is doing a social science psychology, right?
Okay, so 20, I'm a 20-year-old. I'm currently studying my Bachelor of Applied Social Sciences Psychology. I've been asked often why am I studying psychology, and the reason is that with my former past experiences, I've had to, handle the darkness and somehow overcome it. So just having been there and having the experience, I want to be able to facilitate that transformative change for other people and help them encounter transforming moments with their lives. So the reason I'm studying psychology is exactly that, to help people and just help facilitate transformative moments for them.
Okay, and can you maybe tell us a little bit about your upbringing, where you come from?
Okay. So I'm the firstborn and I have a younger sister who's 14. I grew up with my grandmother. I was raised by my grandmother when my father passed away when I was 2. So from a very young age, primary, I've always been quite outspoken, If there was trouble, I'd be the girl that was sent to the teachers to go speak on behalf of the students, And more or less, I was labeled as Umntwana Papaya, but smart, so I had to back it up.
Okay.
And I loved reading a lot. I still do. And so I just loved reading, improving my vocabulary and writing. So I was a child that was outspoken, loved reading and writing and just being out there. That was just me in a nutshell.
Okay. And talking about reading and writing, I understand that you also wrote a book.
Yeah.
Can you please tell us a little bit about it?
Okay, so my first book is titled My Black Colorful Book. It's basically my journey, more or less. The main part of the book is my journey on how I overcame depression. So it starts off being quite sad, but in the end, it's quite colorful, as the title suggests, because it shows that as a person, we go through different seasons and experiences in life and how we overcome them. And I also state in the book that, writing started off as just a skill, something I was good at. But with time, it became more of a lifeline, because to the world, I pretended to be okay, but inside I really wasn't. So writing helped to be that lifeline, that something that grounded me and kept me together. So my first book is titled My Black Colorful Book, and I'm currently working on my second book, which is will be out soon, but this one is more happy, and it's about the concept of love.
Okay. Talking about depression, I'm looking at you said you're 21-year-old, and I'm looking at you, said depression. So I'm wondering, what depressed you, at the early age? And you were not 20 by that time, the way you say. So what really depressed a young girl is?
It's not common. It's not a thing, especially in the Black community, where mental illness is taken seriously. So when I was in grade 10, I was 15. A lot of things started happening. So I made school president of my school, and that brought a lot of pressure, because I felt like I needed to be this perfect child, I had people looking up to me, my teachers, so the pressure to be what I thought everyone wanted me to be. And then things at home just started happening, life was just happening. My mom lost her job, and things were just a bit rough. There was that drift. So I think what happened is that, you pretend that you're okay, you're coping and you're fine, and you're being there for other people, but not also taking care of yourself. So all of the pressure and the feelings that I was boxing in, just somehow exploded. I had my first breakdown, my panic attack in grade 10. And the thing is that I never really spoke about it. So just having to keep that all in was really toxic for me. So that what escalated my being able not to cope, to like feeling sad most of the time, and just end up being in like a full-blown depression. But basically it's called an situational depression, which is basically when life happens to you but you can't cope with the events that are happening in your life, and they just build up and cause this like toxic ball of energy inside a person.
So since you did not talk about what you were going through, I mean, you said that writing is the one that actually helped you to overcome that. But apart from writing, was there any point where you told someone about it?
Yes, there had to be like something I just want to tell to my viewers. Communication is key. Do not die out there alone. There's always someone out there willing to help you. So what happened is I used to cry a lot, like I was an emotional wreck, but the thing is that I used to cry alone. So at some point my grandmother was just picking up that something was off with my behavior. I would lock myself in my room, and I was like, no, I'm busy with school. So that was always my excuse. But then at one point she came in and walked on me while I was just like a bowl of this emotional baggage. I just exploded and I was crying so much, and then she was asking like, what's going on? I was like, I'm fine. She's like, no, this has been going on for a while now. I just didn't also know how to like approach the situation. So I had a family meeting that was cold for me, and I eventually had to like speak out on what was happening, and that's the first step of my recovery. Like speaking about it helped a lot, and that's something I really value, that communication is key, especially with the young people, because life happens and you're trying to get an identity, a foundation of who you are, but in that phase it is so important to also like speak out about how you are feeling as a young person. That's a very important piece I'd like people to like take with them.
So did you leave what you were doing now, since it was the cause that actually put you into that depression, like being an SRC, right?
I was a head president.
Yes.
Yeah.
So did you leave it after you realized that?
I didn't. Like I don't believe in like in quitting. Like I'm that person. No must feel like a no to me before I actually like let it be a no. It sounds strange, but I'm not one person that gives up easily. So I didn't allow it to like deter me from my role or my purpose. I was like, okay, I'm struggling, but I'm just gonna keep going with it. And besides, I was in that aspect, I was doing well, but it was just the emotions that came with the pressure. So I was doing my job well, yes, but like the pressure I was not dealing with properly. So I never really left it. Yeah, because I served in the committee for 3 years actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you just kept on pushing.
I just kept on pushing.
All right. Now, you are representing the country at the moment, as I speak, through the project or the program MUN, right?
Yes.
Can you please tell us what is it all about, and how did you get to be in that program?
Okay, so Asia World United Nation is a simulation of the United Nations conference, where in this case, young leaders, or called delegates from all over the world, come together to represent their respective countries in different committees in the UN, like WHO, UNICEF, UN, amongst many other committees that are there. So the purpose of this is to develop young people's leadership skills, have them experience like diplomacy, where just imagine if South Africa is considered a rainbow country, like imagine the whole world coming together to a common goal. In this case, it's the topic is sustainable goal development with the 2030 agenda of how we would like the world to be at that stage. So young people are actually coming with goals and ideas to take back to their respective countries, and how to have these goals in place and how sustainable development can take place.
Okay, so the ideas that are gonna be, that you guys are gonna discuss there, when you come back to your countries, how are they gonna be effective? Those ideas, are you guys going to propose them maybe to the government, or are you gonna use them in your community? What is gonna happen?
So the ideal is to eventually have them on a national broad, like hearings of like maybe like the country should know, like the government. So you do propose them back to your respective countries, but then there's also like small projects that one can initiate in their respective communities. So either you start small, going big, or start big and go small, which is like start there, let it be known, and then take it back to your respective communities.
Okay, and I mean, if I'm not mistaken, yours it's more of the women empowerment leadership stuff.
Yeah, so I chose. So there's different councils, and I chose UN Women because I'm really quite passionate about women empowerment and seeing also the state of their countries. Yes, we have these rights as women, but sometimes it seems as if there are people that are still not willing to accept that women have a voice and we can say and make things to be done without other people having to feel like they need to step on our backs, you know. So I'm really passionate about women empowerment.
Okay, like as you have said now, I mean, nowadays more women, you know, are rising up. We see them rising up and you know, voicing up in their concerns and stuff. But as you're saying, there's still some who are left behind.
Yeah.
For those who are rising up, what do you think empowers them to actually rise up and voice their concern?
I think just knowing that you have a voice. I think the most important thing is that some women in other certain communities still aren't aware that they have a voice. So with us that are rising up, it's just honestly making the others be aware that they have a voice and they can use it. And with this, it's not, sometimes women are perceived as being aggressive. We honestly are not being aggressive, we are just telling the truth. And obviously the truth will sting to some point and some people will not like it, but just having women know that they have a voice and they can be who they are without being unapologetic about it is a very important element in giving women back the power that was taken to them, from them rather.
So what are you planning to do when you come back from the program? Yes. What are you planning to do towards the women development, especially in leadership?
That's an awesome question. So I was in a girls' school. So I'll take it back home, like my roots where I began, because I feel like a lot of my leadership skills were somehow cultivated in high school. So that's where I am going to begin at my high school, where I will be empowering young girls that it's okay to have a voice. Be your own standard of beauty, because another concept like mass media is really doing the most in terms of like causing girls in particular to have this horrible self-concept and self-image. So I think it starts there, like giving back the keys to the young girls that it's okay, you can do this. Like there's this whole phrase that is going on, is sebenza girl.
Yeah.
So that is something I want to run with, which is sebenza girl. Like it doesn't matter where you come from, let it not be an excuse of where you can go. So I just really want to run with that whole sebenza girl concept and start from my high school, going out to the rest of high schools.
That's great. I wanted to ask you about the leadership and what you are studying now. How do they work together? But before that,
Okay.
because I don't want to forget this one, very important one.
Okay.
Do you need some kind of funding for your project? Maybe can you just share a little bit about how are you guys going about it financially?
Yeah, so it's been quite a difficult journey in terms of funding, and I'm also really hopeful that with the country, there's over 8 million people, billion rather, in the world, and I know someone out there can help. So because the program is a simulation of the UN, it's not funded directly by the UN, but it's a project under UN. So imagine over 1,000 young people, no one can fund that amount of money. So the people, the delegates rather, have to like make means to fund their own, fund their own, expenses, yes. Fund their own expenses, which is like the accommodation and a flight ticket. So it's self-funded, and I had a program online from Backup Buddy. So if you're willing to support, please check out my social media accounts or contact me on my email, which you'll be getting later on in the show. I really could use your support, guys. It's so important, and this is it's such a growthful experience for a young person, and it's what you bring back end of the day that counts. So yeah, thank you.
So I mean, on the same note, have you maybe considered maybe asking funding from the government or something, or you just want from the individuals and private?
So, in terms of like public sectors, I've been going to banks directly because I was told to. It was suggested that you go to banks directly with the documents and stuff. So I've been to banks to ask for funding, but somewhere along the line it didn't really work out as effectively because I've made a certain amount of money, but I haven't met my target
I
yet.
wanted to ask about the target.
Yeah, I haven't.
Approximately, I mean, how much is gonna?
15,000.
15,000. Okay. But I don't think it's that much.
It's not that much. I know, like, it's not that
Ladies and
much.
gentlemen, please support our own. She's representing our country. Please support our own. All right.
Thank you. South Africa, please.
You're welcome. Let's go back to my question. Leadership and social science psychology, right?
Okay.
How do they interact?
So, I mean, in one aspect, psychology is understanding human behavior, the human mind, why certain people do things a certain way, and how their social surroundings influence who they become. And then on the other hand, its leadership is like, now it's like more, it's broader. Now, having this person being shaped by their certain circumstances, it kind of has an impact on who they become. So I want to basically link on if something went wrong in the past on maybe your socialization, how do we then fix that to make your future be a better place? Or I think like fusing that too is like we somehow attempt to fix what went wrong. If not fix, we enhance so that it puts you in a better position in the future. So that's my understanding of how I can link what I'm currently studying with my passion of leadership.
Okay. And in future, are you only going to look at the angle of women leadership or leadership as a whole? Are you planning to maybe, because even male need that
Exactly.
leadership empowerment.
So
are you planning to maybe
definitely broaden my horizon, if I can put it like that.
yes.
That's definitely the aim. As much as women, some of them, majority of women still are disempowered. There's men also, and that same men make a nation. So it's both men and women that make a nation. So I will definitely broaden my horizon in that aspect.
Okay. And I mean, in 5 years, where do we see Noluthando Dlamini in the next 5 years?
Okay, in 5 years, Noluthando is going to be 25. Firstly, she's going to be a well-established author.
Oh, great.
Hello. So, a well-established author. But I think more than that, a true instrument of hope and of transforming lives. So, I know by that time, I would have the means and the resources to actually plant the seeds that I am looking for, which is like basically empowering young people. Now, this is both men and women. So just the empowerment of having young people actually take a stand. We in a society where young people are like, you know what, it's YOLO, it's just my life, doing my own thing. But me being like, hey, guys, girls, like, be woke. Like, this is your country. How do we make it better? So honestly, in 5 years, I'll definitely be that, being like, being future driven is cool, other than just living for the moment.
Okay. And in the same note, giving hope and planting the seeds. I just want you to encourage or inspire a young person who is watching the show now.
Okay, young person, when help comes to you, I hope it finds you halfway. We have this thing of expecting everything to be given to us. In all honesty, the world doesn't owe us anything. I mean, you have your basic needs that can be met, yes. But with your passion and your desires, how then to expect help to find you at the bottom? So work and rise. You've got opportunities. Don't waste them. Like, grab them and do the most. Like, do the most. You know how they say, make the pot to be done. You have the keys to be that person and make the pot to be done. So yeah, I really just wish young people can just take a stand and be who they want to be in the future.
Take the stand and be who they want to be in future.
Yes.
That's powerful.
And another note, don't think that the future begins like 5 years from now. Like, what you do today is actually what makes your future what it is that you want. So realize that your future is your gift and your present at the same time. So yeah.
Someone said that tomorrow is not guaranteed.
Yeah.
So start today.
Start today. Like, you never know.
Yeah.
You really never know.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And as you have said, can you please give us your contacts so people can get hold of you if they want to support and fund your program, maybe?
Okay, so I'll start with on Facebook, I am Thando Hlatshwayo Ndo. On Instagram, Nolu_Dlamini. I know different surnames. I'll tell you all about that later. On Instagram, it's Nolu_Dlamini. My email address is thandodlamini77@gmail.com. I'll repeat that, thandodlamini77@gmail.com. If you really need my number, I'll give it to you. 062-922-6120. I'll repeat that, 062-922-6120. Almost forgot my number.
All right. Now, before we conclude, I think that one will save it for the other interview, the one of the different surnames and stuff. We'll see them in the next interview. But today, before we conclude, I just want us to play a very short game, a nice game.
Okay.
Yeah. So I hope you will cooperate with me.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say some sentences, just short sentences, and you'll finish them. You'll complete them for me.
Okay.
Number one. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. The world will be nothing without
Hope.
Okay. If I wasn't a human, I could be
A dog. They're so cute.
Okay. One thing I learned about life is
Second chances.
okay. You'll never be successful if you don't.
Try.
Okay. One word to sum up your experience on the show, Expired Conversations on Global Conference TV.
One word. Empowerment. I feel empowered.
Thank
I
you so
really
much.
do.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
No, Sis Noluthando, thank you so much for your time. And I appreciate that you had that opportunity to be with us today. So keep up the good work. That's what I can say.
Thank you.
And I just trust that we will really support Noluthando. Please, let's help, let's fund. She's representing our country. So all the best, even for the project.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. And
You're
thank you to the watchers out there. Thank you for having us. And please keep watching, guys.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are watching Inspired Conversations, Living the Legacy with Legends. My name is Unkarabile Wisdom Mokoto, and I'm saying to you, let's meet next time, same place on Global Conference TV. The journey continues.